The truth about John D. Rockefeller. For those of you who don't know who this man is, this man was one of America's first billionaires. He took over the big oil companies. He owned nearly 95% of all the oil companies in America, and he created the big pharma medicine. It all started out when he bought the Standard Oil Company. This was America's first monster monopoly. By taking over nearly all the oil companies in America, this is how he became really wealthy. This was America's first billionaire. He eventually then discovered petrochemicals and the ability to create a bunch of chemicals from oil. He ended up discovering various minerals within these oils and decided that he could create pharmaceutical medicine from this oil. And the best thing about this for him was everything could be patented and sold for high profits. He was all about the money. At this time, medical industries was utilizing plant medicine. He then started paying out the American Medical Association to stop utilizing plant medicines and to stop teaching plant medicines within the colleges. He was offering more than $100 million to colleges and hospitals. The goal was to identify which chemicals from the plants were curing these diseases and recreate these chemicals in a lab, not identical, but close enough so that it could be patented with. He basically paid off these schools to start teaching his knowledge about, the pharmaceutical medicine and the oils. He knew that if he could cause a problem and have the cure or fix for it, he would be the richest man in the world. And this is exactly what he did. The Rockefellers also started the organization Planned Parenthood. Their goal was to reduce pregnancies in women. Bill Gates' father was also one of the lead investors in this organization. Him and the other elite banking families like the Rothschilds started the Federal Reserve. They own nearly all the central banks in America, this allowing them to create money out of thin air. Their plan was to take over the financial system, and this is what they did. Now with the ability to create money out of thin air, they were able to buy whatever they wanted. And the aim for Big Pharma medicine was not to make people healthy, but instead their goal was to make everybody sick because this is how you make profits. This is how you make the money. He knew that he couldn't make money off a healthy community. So here we are 100 years later cheering on doctors who know nothing about herbal medicine. We now have a society that's enslaved to corporations for its own well-being. America spends a huge amount of money on healthcare, but it really should be called sick care because they are not focused on the cure, they're focused on the symptoms. This is creating repeat customers. The same people that are telling you that there's no cure for these diseases are all funded by this man right here. Of course they're not going to tell you there's a cure for their disease. This is how they make their money. And as of the American Cancer Society, it was funded by this man right here. This is why we have to give up all these pharmaceutical medicines. The basis to all of these pharmaceutical drugs, I shouldn't even call them medicines, is petroleum oil. Intaking petroleum causes headaches, dizziness, nausea, more and more and more. High levels can even cause coma or death. And this is exactly what your pharmaceutical medicine is made from. These doctors go to a school that get taught information that's funded by John D. Rockefeller. They do not know the cure to these diseases. They are simply taught how to talk and ask questions with a patient, listen to their symptoms their body is having, and give them the right pharmaceutical drug for it. This just putting a band-aid over the wound, not fixing the problem, and causing more problems down the road. Not to mention, these pharmaceuticals have huge side effects on the body and going to cause even more problems. That's going to get treated with more pharmaceutical drugs. This man got y'all in a loophole. It's time we wake up, family, start going back to nature, start going back to our roots, and start using herbal medicine again.